Hello there guys, and of course welcome back into yet another one of us, the Review Bros. My name's Aaron. It's really good to have you watching along at home, of course on yet again another pre-workout review. You've seen it in the title, you've seen it in the thumbnail, but I'm going to show you it anyway. It is Stim Cookie by the guys at FITCOOKIE. They're a UK distribution company. They've got retail stores all across the world. What I will say is if you've been to any UK expos, you would have seen them in force. They come with their pickup trucks. You know, normally they've got big stands, really putting some money behind the brands. Now, what can this product actually do in the real world for the people like you watching at home and myself, of course, today in this very review? We'll go through the usuals, the taste, price, label, and primarily the effects of this stuff in the real world, okay? Is it going to be the one for you? We're about to get into it, but first, please, guys, if you could, we do appreciate it. Like the video, comment any thoughts you want below, and do subscribe. We put out at least 3 honest reviews per the week. We appreciate you for it. Let's get into this one. So that moves us into the first segment of the review, the taste and the mixability of the product. Probably the least important, but we cover it anyway because there's great pre-workouts out there that also taste very good. So you don't have to sacrifice the taste element. This one comes in just one flavour, okay? But it is a unique flavour. It is Nerds. And I'm sure most of you will know what Nerds are. They're those fizzy small sweets. I generally had them as a child. You can still get them around today. Quite sour like sweets, different fruits, and actually on the website of this it does say rainbow Nerds, so it's kind of like a rainbow candy flavour, I would have to presume. Obviously I'm going to pretend for the camera it's my first try of this today. So you do get 8-gram scoops, so it is a smaller scoop than average. A little compact flat one gives you that 8-gram serving size. All right guys, and straight away pink in the container. Look at that. It's giving it some. It does smell really nice in the air, I will say. So let's give it a mix up. Let's see how it does. 8 grams though, it should mix fine. It really should. Boom. Right, there we go. We've got a little bit of frothing, nothing major. We do. Oh, I must say, the mixability, honest hand on heart, is not great at all. It's not the, I don't know, it's not great. It's really not. In fact, there's quite a big, let me give it another second. You know, sometimes we have to go the extra mile. I mean, to be fair, that has improved it a bit. You just have to be a bit rigorous, a bit forceful. So, I mean, mixability is really, really minor to us, at least here. You know, when you get to the bottom of the shake, you just go like that, neck it back, and eventually it'll get down. So, but we've seen better. Let's hope it tastes better than that mixability. Going down the hatch. It does. Very nice. It does actually taste like the Nerd sweets. Very candy flavour. Cherry, cola, strawberry type flavours coming at me. I wouldn't really say it's sour. It's very sweet. It's got a little, and I do mean a little bit of bitterness / black peppery on the back end, right at the back. And it is so minor, guys, I promise you. I would genuinely be happy to give that, right, a 9.5 out of 10. It's really nice tasting, all right? It is very good. Mixability let it down a little bit. I think if the mixability was 100%, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. It's really unique. It's nice. I've got literally no complaints. And that black pepper, spicy, you know, bitterness is so mild, but something to note. And that's why it gets a 9.5. Really good start. Let's move into the price point. So, price point of this product. Are you going to be breaking the bank to get your hands on it? Well, guys, straight away I'm going to say no, absolutely not. So you'll head on over to the official FITCOOKIE website where you'll see the product originally on there for $24.99. We do have a discount code RB10 knocks off 10%, and it actually drops the price of the container down to just £22.49. Now here is the real great thumbs up. You get a real 30 servings from the container. For anyone that's watched the channel, you know the 30 servings are generally the winners, and this is absolutely no exception to that rule. And at that price point, guys, it costs you just 75 pence a serving. We have a consistent pricing scale here at Review Bros, where a 5 out of 10 is what we consider to be an average price point per serving for pre-workouts literally across the world in today's market. It's expensive, cost of living, all the rest of it, you know, can't hear the end of it these days. This comes in at a 9.5 out of 10 on that price scale. It is a huge margin cheaper than an average product. I'm going to let that sink in. It is very, very, very affordable. Like, really, 9.5. Fantastic score. What is it actually packing though? We're going to move into the label, and shortly after that, the effects to determine whether that 9.5 is actually even still worth it. So that moves us into the label of this product. What is it packing? It surely can't be packing a lot, can it, at just 75 pence a serving? Well, we're going to throw it up on the screen for you to see it right now. So, let's get into it. As mentioned before, you get 30 servings a container, and they are small scoops, guys, 8 grams per serving. We start off by caffeine anhydrous at 250 milligrams. I'd say that's ever so slightly lower than average, but caffeine is your stimulant, guys. 2.5 cups worth of coffee, energy time. But it doesn't finish there. We actually end up with another 100 milligrams of caffeine from Infinity, caffeine malate, okay? That's a slower digesting form of caffeine. So once the caffeine anhydrous starts to wean off, the caffeine demalate should take its place and keep you going. So it tops it up nicely there. We've got Caglia africana at 300 milligrams, the African sausage tree plant extract, one of those bits. It's effectively in there for stimulation, okay? It's like caffeine, but it's even been shown to be 10 times stronger. Now, how true is that? We're going to find out in the effects. Some people also liken its effects to like a DMHA type feel, highness, euphoria, energy, stimulation, getting you in the zone. We have juniper berry extract next at 250 milligrams. Comes with a whole host of health benefits, but primarily here for a little bit of stimulation, but of course, in turn, amping up the stimulants that are already there in the body. So we are hoping for a strong stim hit from that. Beta alanine at 3.2 grams next, the clinical amount, 3.5. You know, we're looking at their beta alanine tingles, the itchy paresthesia type feels, and of course gives us endurance once it's built up in the gym, in the body, should I say, after a period of time using it. We have the supercharger, which is actually just your digestive matrix here, in the form of estrogen at 50 milligrams and the bioperine, the black pepper, at 10 milligrams, and that might explain the taste element slightly. Now they're going to get these ingredients into the system as efficiently and effectively as possible, and very importantly so, as you've got your 30-minute window to get cracking. We've got an anti-crash complex up next, L-theanine at a 400 milligram dosage. Now that is your love it or hate it ingredient, and unfortunately a lot of people do not like it because L-theanine is a sleep hormone, sleep ingredient, gives you that restful, calming feeling, and that's kind of the opposite to what you want in your pre-workout. Now, for some that it doesn't affect in that way, it will give them nootropic focus, and of course it will smooth out the jitters from the caffeine and help it last longer, hence the anti-crash. We'll see how it comes together. We've got the Amped Energy Complex up next, Canna, 250 milligrams. Now Canna, again, comes with health benefits, but it's primarily in here, or a pre-workout I'd say, to ease the sense of harsh stimulation. Again, a similar thing to L-theanine, in a calming, anti-anxiety, anti-stress, you know, getting you in the zone, making you happy, and ultimately in a roundabout way, obviously helping with mood elevation. We've got teacrine up next, an active teacrine at 75 milligrams. Teacrine is, of course, a stimulant, guys. It's a long-lasting one, okay? Obviously, it's similar to caffeine in such that it gives you energy, but it's a long-lasting one. So Can keep you up at night, that stuff, I will warn you. We next have up next, I'm really not going to spend too much time on this, the vitamins, minerals section, which, to be honest with you, general bodily function, health, energy production in the body, immunity, you name it, vitamins. They're not going to do too much in terms of your pre-workout, like you're going to feel vitamin B6 kicking in 30 minutes later, do you know what I mean, sort of thing. So we'll take the health benefits they bring though. That wraps off the label, guys. No pump ingredients. I wouldn't even really say focus ingredients, but I would definitely say stimulation ingredients. Let's get into this one. That moves us, of course, into the primary section of any review out there, the effects. How does this one work in the real world, guys? Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Beta-alanine, if it's in your pre, it's the first thing you're generally going to feel. And this one's no different. Beta-alanine comes in strong on this one. 9 out of 10, at least. Beta tingles, itchy, paresthesia type feel throughout the body. You know, it gives you that sense of, well, for at least us, that sense of urgency. I would say 70% of people out there like beta-alanine, and that's going on all the polls we've ever done on Instagram, Reddit, YouTube, etc., etc. So around 70%. So if you like it, it's a huge thumbs up. Like I say, it gives me that sense of urgency. Pre-workout is kicking in. I can feel it. Let's go. Some people call that placebo, but at the end of the day, if it's doing something, does it really matter? What comes in next is a very nice wave of energy, guys. You do feel it with that beta-alanine, that sense of urgency. You feel your heart rate go up, your sense of central heating kicking in, you know, warming up, feeling like adrenaline's kicking in, feeling ready to go. And that feeling is very smooth throughout your training session. I wouldn't say Stim junkie levels, like Stim cookie levels, but, you know, it's definitely a stronger energy pre-workout than your average out there. There's no crash, as it says. And to be honest with you, personally speaking, the L-theanine didn't take away, simply because you're getting more caffeine in there than the L-theanine, plus obviously with the other bits, the teacrine, the caglia, you're really hitting a high Stim ingredient label. And that actually comes to fruition in the effects, guys. You do feel a strong sense of productive, I don't know if it's clean, but it's kind of clean energy. It's very consistent every time I've used it, guys. It keeps you going through your training session. And after your training, half hour after, it weans away into nothingness. It's not necessarily a pre-workout you're going to feel for the rest of the day. Positive or negative, you take it as to what you will, guys. What there isn't in this is any pump. But I will say the energy is strong enough to get you training hard enough to elevate the heart rate up enough. You actually do generate your own pump, all right, guys? It's not like these pre-workouts are going to take away from the pump. I've never thought that in all my time using pre-workouts. And a lot of people say Stims take away pumps. I can see it scientifically, but on reality, I don't. I've had the nastiest pumps on high Stim pre-workouts, so I don't believe it. Focus, despite not really having anything in there for focus, some people say canna, some say L-theanine, and kind of they do. Caffeine, definitely. You do feel dialed in on it. It's
savage pumps in the gym and the bedroom. Wolf pump.
I think the energy also amps up the brain and it gets you moving from A to B to C. No worries at all. It's a very productive focus energy complex, okay? It gets you moving, guys. There's no doubt about that. I just wouldn't say it's into the Stim junkie world. It's absolutely 100% a very strong daily driver. Probably, you know, dipping a toe into the Stim junkie realm. For me, honestly, no negatives, no appetite suppression, no nausea, no crash, no jitters, no sickness, no cold sweats. It doesn't come with a thermogenic fat burning like feel. It's just a productive Stim dynamite cookie. Yeah, it's a good product, guys. A very good product. I'd say the only negative for me is that despite you, like I said, despite you not feeling it necessarily for the rest of the day, that tear cream always gets me when I'm going to sleep. It just seems to always get me. I think it's actually the more I've used pre-workouts over the years, the more that tear cream affects me, where it makes it harder to sleep than usual. So be wary of using it within 4 or 5 hours of bedtime. That's the only thing I'd throw out there. But all in all, pumps, disregard them. It's not promising us pumps. Focus is good. Energy is very good. It's a solid product. Now, what I must say at this point of the review is that price point makes this product 175% worth it. Seriously worth it, guys. 75 pence for all of the stuff it's giving us is fantastic. And I'd actually give the Pre, on the effects alone, a 9 out of 10. It's what I personally would want from a pre-workout. Pumps have always been the hardest thing to judge anyway, because the weather affects them, your food, hydration, mood, training, body parts, genetics, etc, etc, etc. You name it. So that's not for me taking away all too much from the product. Energy is what we're here for at the end of the day. That's the reason I take pre-workout, for energy, to get moving. And focus is just a nice little side benefit. I'd give the focus an 8 out of 10 on it, but all in all, I'd give the product a 9 out of 10. I really like it. I really do think it's very well put together. It's unique, it's different, but it's also seriously affordable. Like, that is, for me, what I'll always remember about the product. It's a shining star in terms of your price. I'd consider it for everyone out there watching at 75% pence a serving, sorry. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching at home. Have you used this product? Would you? What do you think of the label, etc, etc, etc? We appreciate it and appreciate you guys watching at home. As always, stay stimmed, Stim cookie style.